CHP got involved. You can see here his white vehicle still just really flying the mail along the 10 freeway here through Grand as we work our way around. And as we see here, you can see the CHP right behind him. And as we come around, and 5's going to swing around to the south side behind 4. And as we come here, we'll let him fly right on by. And as we pick up on this pursuit, we're going to have to start picking up speed to stay with him. Yeah, another night, another high-speed pursuit of a stolen vehicle here coming into town out of the, like I said, out from Colton. Started just about 25 minutes ago. We heard it the first out by the 210 freeway going around. Got on this westbound. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's got on it, helped out. Now CHP helicopter is here taking over. It's a total CHP pursuit right now as we continue here. Coming up to Azusa right now as we pass through. You see just passing traffic. Luckily, again tonight, the traffic is pretty light out here as we work our way through the city here. And as we continue here, just passing traffic, you can see a vehicle holding that number 1 lane. So right now it's going to get down here and continue on next freeway, 605. We thought for sure he was going to take the 57 freeway. He kind of indicated that he was, and then he continued on through and over the Kellogg Hill, dropping down into the area here. Now we're coming into about Baldwin Park area, continuing here west on the 10 freeway. Looks like he's not slowing down, and luckily not doing a lot of whipping around. We talked about that last night. With speeds like this, you start turning that wheel and trying to get around other slower vehicles, it will cause that vehicle to lose control because it's just very touchy when you get up those high rates of speed. And now CHP has been handing this off. I've heard 3 different handoffs by CHP. And as we explained in prior pursuits, the CHP will keep passing this pursuit off to the different areas they go through, just as though the officers are familiar with the areas they're chasing in. We're hearing that there's only one person in the vehicle, the driver. And right now, other than a stolen vehicle, we don't know if there's any other wants or any other information on this person or the vehicle being chased. But you can see here he is just going as fast as he can here on the 10 freeway, working our way east or westbound, coming up towards the 605. We're probably about 2 miles from the 605. I'm starting to see CHP units out ahead lighting up, getting ready to jump in. They also do another thing where they'll block the on to try to limit on the freeway ahead of this, just to kind of help out with the cars here to keep people out of harm's whatever, protect the folks. Yeah, you see him here. See, as you said, still going 100 miles an hour. Made a few lane changes there as we worked our way through, and now we're coming up to the 605 interchange. So we're covering a lot of ground in a very short amount of time. And as we continue here, you can see he's moving over. He's made a couple lane changes to get around these slower traffic, and he's coming up on a bunch of traffic here. He's going to have to get over in that HOV lane and work his way right by the FedEx truck, around that car, a little slower car, and then moving right along. And now we're coming up to the 605. I'm going to see if he's going to try to jump over here and see where he's going to go. But looks like we're kind of holding that 3 lane, so he could easily drop over to the off ramp. But here we go, coming up, and there's the Gore Point. And there he goes onto the 605 freeway. It looks like it's going to be northbound 605 from the 10 as we come around here. Oh, now he's making this swing around. This is going to bring him south. And 5 is going to hold it up right here and bring it around to the south. You come through that transition, passing the slower traffic here. And so this takes him back down towards the La Puente area, then south of that, Montebello, then Whittier. But let's see how far down he gets. But, yeah, the CHP there, 3 units behind their normal pursuit situation as they continue on. So guy not giving up any indication he's going to give this up. He's just going to run this car till it either runs out of gas or he runs out of talent driving at these speeds. But you can see just passing traffic with ease. And this vehicle, I'm trying to figure out what kind of vehicle that is. I'm looking down there and I really can't tell. Micah, can you help out on that? All right. Yeah. Oh, stop traffic ahead. Yeah, heavy traffic ahead, just went under the 60. We got it's construction ahead, and we got a lot of traffic, pretty much at a dead stop over in the 3-4 lane. The right left lanes look like they might be open pretty good here, but he's going to have to do some maneuvering to keep that speed up. Now he goes over to the HOV lane, and here he comes into the traffic. And we'll see what here you see now. I see the traffic kind of stop to the side there. If we widen out just a little bit more, you'll see how much traffic he's going by. And right now, you know, okay, now he's coming into the cars, the HOV that have slowed down. So now he's on the brakes. Luckily, he had enough brakes to stop this thing. And so we're going to slow down Sky 5 here as we get stuck in traffic. And the thing is, with people now, they're in this trying to get through here, and all of a sudden they got a bunch of police cars behind them. So the natural intent is to go ahead and stop. But luckily, see, that guy pulled right out of the way, did the perfect thing. Just get out of the way, let him go by. And continuing on, 5 copy. And so you can see right now he's just getting a free run through here. He's coming up on the construction area. Once we get past here, it's freewheeling from there. There's not anything ahead of him, but there's a construction area right there. And looks like he's going to get through here without any problem. You know, with a car coming that fast, anything could happen when he gets into slow traffic like that. But right now it looks like we got through there without any issues. But he's picking speed back up here and heading down south on the 605, coming up to Beverly. And this will take us on down into Whittier area and then point south from there. So right now we're just going to content to stick with him. CHP doing the best they can to stay behind him. We just saw a switch off of units now back here. 3 new cars jumping in on it and moving their way up. He's weaving out here over to the number 4 lane. And we'll see if he got to jump off here real quick. But right now he's over in the exit lane. Let's see what he does when he comes down here. And looks like he's going to bypass the exit lane. And yeah, so he's through there. And continuing south, 605. So they've done a handoff to the Norwalk units down here as we work our way south. And by the big rigs here, passing them all on the right. So right now it's just a matter of sticking with him. Air unit overhead, keeping an eye on him. And then right now, he's back over to the number 1 lane. So anyway, we're just going to have to keep an eye on him, and hopefully the speeds will decrease here as we go along, because with speeds at this, control that vehicle is not that good. With the Mustang last night, very high performance vehicle, very quick on the acceleration. This Ford Taurus not as much. And with that comes a little bit less maneuverability. So the CHP cars are go ahead. No, he's not going to have that luxury of that with dash speed or that quick acceleration to get away from him. So if they get a chance, they're going to stop him as quick as possible. So it's going to be a different situation than it was from last night as we continue on here south on the 605. And I'm looking ahead. CHP is positioned out ahead again here to get ready to do a swap out. But right now the air unit is just kind of holding off, and you barely can see the light on it. And just keeping an eye from overhead, calling it. And as we come along here, you see units coming on the freeway right here is one of the handoff, and Brenner come right up behind you. As we continue on here, southbound 605, and we'll be hitting the 5 freeway here pretty quick as we work our way down through the Whittier area. And so from there, Santa Fe Springs down south of that. And so we'll have to see what he's going to do when he gets to the next major freeway. Working our way south. He's kind of just nice and easily weaving his way through this, and just not doing a lot of things radically. And 7.5 is coming out your left door, and as we come into traffic, and as we come along, he's just kind of getting through the traffic. Now we're coming up on the 5 freeway, and ready to see what he does when we get down here. And this is where we traveled last night several times, back and forth on the 5 freeway from the 605, and so we're coming up here. Let's see if he's holding over in the lanes, and looks like he's going to continue south 605. He got blocked off by that big rig, so yeah, committed south 605 from the 5 freeway, and we'll continue on here. So this, pursuit is he's keeping the speeds up, which is dangerous by itself, but he's not turning like we did last night, getting off, getting back on, and going around in circles. This guy seems to just go a long ways. I mean, he's come all the way from the 215 freeway out the 10 freeway down the 605 here, and working our way south down towards the Long Beach and the Orange County area. So the next freeway we're coming to is a 91. Go ahead. .105. 5's coming to a stop. Five's picking up right behind you, 7. Yeah, that's right. No, this is the West 105. We went through underneath the 5 there. Now West 105 from the 605 heading out west. And, this 105 ends at the LAX, so I hope he doesn't get down in that area. But he's holding these outside lanes just to get a free lane. And that speed is still upwards of 100 miles an hour as we continue on here. I'm tracking him with the ground speed here, and you can see that he is really just picking up the speed and flying along here on the 105 freeway. This is taking us towards the next freeway. It'll be 710 coming out your left door again, 7. And as we go over to the number 4 lane and then kind of working that, so he might be looking for an off ramp here because he's sure holding the outside lanes here. Now he's taking an off ramp here. Trying to see what this might be here as we coming off the freeway. Lakewood, coming off on the Lakewood off ramp. We'll see which way he's going to go. And now we're southbound Lakewood, and I kind of keep an eye on him here and see if he continues past the freeway on ramps here. This is going to take us down towards Long Beach Airport, and they're saying he's a male wearing a blue Dodger hat. Is what we're just hearing the CHP talk about now. He's up here to the intersection, kind of poking through that intersection, South Lakewood. Now this will take us down into the North Long Beach area. Roger. And as we continue south here and working the way down here, now the intensity gets a little bit higher here with speeds in the cross traffic. As we go through these intersections, he's coming up on the intersection now. Luckily, it's a green light as we come through there, but you can see how fast he's going. And continuing down, that was Rosecrans he just went through. Then we're heading south towards the 91 freeway, and once we cross 91, we'll be into Long Beach proper. And continuing here, CHP still behind him. Now the officers have to really be careful because he may make it through an intersection, but they just can't just take off and go through the intersection right behind him, because they're just as liable for injuries, and they don't want to hurt anybody on the road or themselves either. But they have to drive with due caution. He's on the brakes, almost caught that car. Car was making the pull over to the right, and he tried to pass him on the right. So coming up to Alondra here, and it's on luckily a green light, and another three or four more streets here will be at the 91. We'll see if he pops back up on a freeway as we work our way down into the Long Beach area. So stolen vehicle out of Colton has been going on now for quite a while. CHP is on the pursuit coming up to the 91, and these officers are having to just kind of keeping an eye on him. Staying with him at these speeds is pretty difficult when you get down on surface streets like this. Now coming up, passing cars through that intersection under the 91 freeway. And what the officers have to keep in mind here, they were coming up hard on the brakes. You saw him skid, went right around that stopped vehicle at the red light and through the off-ramp for the eastbound 91, and we're past the 91. So he was really jamming on the brakes there, trying to keep from hitting that car. So he's a bit over-driving the car as we come along here, and hopefully we don't have a bad accident. But like I say, the officers that are in this have to keep their emotions under control. They have to keep their level down to where they can stay focused on the car and focused on the area around them, because you don't want to get tunnel vision on the car, and you don't want to get to where you're just looking at that, not the cross traffic or anything around him. So hopefully they let the area unit call the pursuit, kind of hold back just a little bit, because he's not going to get away from that car, but that's usually what they do. So coming up through this intersection here on the red through. So right now still southbound Lakewood, coming up on the border of the Long Beach Airport. So let me send it back down to you, Micah and Cher, while I work in with Long Beach Airport. Five slowing, and are we clear in the Long Beach here? Okay. Delamo. Five is going to bring it down a little bit, out of 17. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Five, just pedal turning left. southbound Cherry. Yeah, at 75 was the last call. We're southbound Cherry here coming up on Carson, and he's coming up on a red light here. You see car just stopped in the middle of the intersection right there through the shot. And, yeah, he's 75 plus down here, and yeah, pit is out of the question at those speeds. And Long Beach PD is also monitoring this to give them any assistance that they need once this guy comes to a stop here. But he's coming up to stop traffic on a red light. Long Beach PD blocking the freeway there, or blocking the cross street to keep people from getting in there. And so you'll see that as we go along. Along the way, the police departments in the area will try to block off the streets so this guy doesn't get across traffic coming. But we're going right through southbound Cherry, coming up on Wardlow, and the San Diego Freeway 405 is just south of here. So, yeah, 75 miles an hour surface streets, not a good idea this time of night. Folks just driving their way home, getting back from being out on the night here, and he's coming up to the 405. Let's see if he picks up the 405. But right now it looks like CHP, one car behind him. The other two are trailing way behind, giving a lot of room. So, like I said, they're letting the air unit give the call. And, okay, coming through here, through that intersection, that'll be, I believe, Wardlow is the street here on the south side as we continue down into downtown Long Beach proper. Now, Cherry is going to get really tight down here as we get a little further south. It dead ends right about PCH and turns into a small residential street, so we'll have to see what he plans on doing when he gets down here. But he's slowing down now, coming up to an intersection, and looks like hard on the brakes, and then through that intersection on the green. So luckily he's catching green lights along the way, coming up over the hill here, dropping down towards PCH. So, you know, right now CHP doing a great job on the ground, staying behind him but holding back. The air units giving the call, and Long Beach PD doing the best they can to stop cross traffic and passing Hill Street. Like I said, right now he's going to have PCH coming up here in a second, and past there the street gets very small. So see what he does when he gets down in here. If he's familiar with the area, that's one thing, but if he's not, he's going to have issues down in this area. Coming up to PCH now, and these officers are tightening it up here on him just a little bit, and can have traffic slowing down. So they're seeing the police cars slowing down, and that guy did a good thing. They're staying now cross traffic at PCH on the red, pushing through PCH, and officer on the brakes and through. So luckily he made it through that intersection. Now we're in some tight areas, I was telling you. Residential track down here in the south end of Long Beach. And here we go, see what he's going to do when he gets down in here. There's cars ahead of him now, stopped at a red light. He's going to have to either go around them, but one car just turned the corner and got out of the way. So luckily drivers paying attention to what's behind them. Coming up to Anaheim. Oh, cross traffic. Oh, man, okay, he got good on the brakes there and missed that guy through there. 45 miles an hour is what they call it, going through that red light and continuing down south here from Anaheim. And now left turn. And, well, yeah, they can do a spike strip at any time. I'm going to let him go right underneath this, Colton. And they'll do a spike strip at any speed because the way the spikes are designed. All right, Five's got you. I'm just going to stay on the south side here. And what they'll do is they get the spike strip out there. The spike strips are like hollow tubes, very sharp hollow tubes that puncture the tire and let the air out very slowly, so there's not an explosion or a quick blowout. So, yeah, it speeds here, wrong side of the street, pushing through that left turn pocket, and then kind of going along. You see how tight the streets are. So the pit maneuver is going to be like very hard to do because of the size of the street, and the speed, of course, takes it out of the option. But, yeah, Long Beach could very well throw spike strips. I mean, the CHP is not able to keep up with this now with their units ahead. Long Beach PD is very well aware. Now turning back to the north here. Coronado Street, he's going north on here away from Anaheim. All right, if I was just making a left-hand turn. And another left-hand turn, and it's coming through this track here. Into the back of a building here. Looks like he's going to run out of down an alley here, alleyway back down towards Anaheim. Let's see what he does here. Now it is where we come up. The idea is maybe he's looking for a place to run, to look for a place to go to familiar ground and just take off. Now back westbound, another turn to the left. So 5 El Bispo now from Anaheim, and so he's just kind of circling this area now as we kind of just spin around here in place, letting him fly through those neighborhoods. And so we just got to keep an eye. Coming back up here, turning back to the, through traffic there, just barely missed a couple cars. I thought he was going to make that westbound turn, but he was just doing just to keep from hitting those cars. And on the brakes hard here. And another turn, going to go through a little traffic circle here around the corner, continuing south. And let's see what he does when he gets down to this next intersection. Looks like it. No, he's going to get through there, and he pushes through. Luckily, no cross traffic there, that four-way stop. And now still on Obispo. I think this is still a bit. Coronado he's back on now. I'm listening to the CHP dispatcher, or actually the CHP observer in the helicopter call this out. Coronado here, and he's on the brakes. Doors coming open, so it looks like we're going to bail out here. And as we come by here into this intersection, of course it's behind the building and around the corner. And here we go. And the door popped open. They're going to do one of them 25-mile-an-hour bailouts, where he just lets the car go and he gets off on foot. But Long Beach is in the area, pretty well containing the area, and past Redondo. And see what he does. And coming up here, CHP should get a pit here. I mean, he slowed way down. The door was popped. We thought for sure he was going to bail out, and he just kind of weaving around. And see, yeah, I hope so. Yeah, he may be out of gas the way that thing is just cruising to the end here. And he just kind of weaving. It's got downhill, so that's what's keeping him going, this little downhill area. And just north of Vista, I believe we're on Redondo. I think I heard the last call here, and just rolling very, on Redondo. And so I got a feeling he ran out of gas because it just slowed down and slowed down. It's been going a long ways for high rates of speed, so it's going to burn up a lot of fuel. So looks like we're just going to roll it. And you don't know what's going to pile out of there. Like you were saying earlier about, you don't know if this is a robbery suspect or a kidnap suspect or burglary suspect, or is he just your plain Jane car thief. But you don't take anything you don't assume anything. Don't take anything for granted. And they will do what they need to do once this thing stopped. Start giving him commands to get out of the car and do things we watched last night where the subject gets out, stands up. But you can see right here, we can see the suspect, windows down. Like I said, the only reason why it's rolling, it's a little bit of a downhill grade here on Redondo, working its way down towards Ocean. And now it looks like he might have run out of energy here and coming to a stop, but just slowly creeping along. And he should finally end up stopping here in a second. CHP 3 units holding back here. And Redondo north of Broadway here in Long Beach. So this is the other part of the pursuit that is really dangerous. What's going to happen here? What's the suspect going to do? What's his state of mind? Is he armed? Is he just going to jump out, start shooting, worst case scenario, or is he just going to sit there and not follow commands? But it looks like he's got his hands out the window, threw something out. It could be the keys, but as an officer, you don't take that for granted, that being the keys. It could be a separate set of keys, or he could have left the ignition key in there and just tossed out the extra ones. Yeah, there he is reaching outside, can open the door from the outside as the normal command, and now he's stepping out. Just casual, kind of the guy last night, like he's used to it, been doing it before, and this guy here just kind of casually. He's got to be careful here. He doesn't want to be doing anything not commanded by the officers here. And we'll move forward here just a little bit. As you see the officers now walking him back towards them, and that's the proper way to do it. Bring him back to you, away from that car. You can bring him back to your point of cover. And he's still smoking. I mean, and raising up his shirt in the back. And now he turns around, faces them. and probably going to pull up his shirt to show his waistband. And more than likely, this will come to an end real quick. He is going through the motions now, doing what they want him to do, and thank goodness that's the way it ends. So, and with those speeds to those intersections, we could have had a very bad crash, but luck was on the citizen side tonight with this guy. And here he goes down on his knees. Officers will move up, and the rest team will take control of his hands, handcuff him, and then another team will go up and check out that car. But right now, it's one officer with a long gun. You see they're standing to the right, keeping an eye on that car, make sure nobody pops out of there, because you never know who might be in there. But they were reporting all the way from the beginning it was just a single male driver. And handcuffs going on. Suspect will be in custody here shortly, and once they have a complete control of him, they'll check that car. So good news, CHP pursuit comes to an end here all the way from Colton to Long Beach. Nobody hurt, suspect in custody. All right. What'd you say? Yeah, I had 10 more good minutes to go. You know, I did this on purpose because I didn't want to break into Darren's section for sports. How's that?